Hey everybody, how's it going? It is once again time for the Catching Zeez podcast. I think we're on episode 12 now, so, trying to keep it going. It's pretty consistent with our schedule. I'm trying to keep it up, Anyways, today, as you can probably see by where my profile picture is positioned, I'm solo. I am solo again this week. I actually didn't ask anybody specifically to record. This time I chose to do a solo cast, mainly because it'll be a little easier for me to edit, I guess. Now, what I mean by that is that's actually really it, honestly. I always do love talking with other people, don't get me wrong, but I've been kind of in this weird funk lately. I think I have been for a while now. But I think it's the last few days it's been pretty bad, where I have opened up my editing software multiple times and I just can't do anything. I guess I've had a creative block when it comes to editing, and that's been unfortunate. It happens. But I've been working on the Owl House Kahoot video for my second channel recently, and I want to say it's around 50% done, but I'm trying to get it over 8 minutes so I can get that extra ad revenue. I know that sounds depressing, but I got to start earning money off that channel, or else I might be in a bad financial situation sometime soon. Not anytime soon. I know I think I'm guaranteed secure for around 6 months, but if I don't start making more money from YouTube in the next 6 months, I might have to go back to getting I might have to get a part-time job or something. I don't know. But I really don't want to have to do that, so I can put all my time into doing YouTube. But with that said, I just haven't really been able to edit the Owl House Kahoot, really. It's taken me a long time because I'm trying to put in lots of jokes, trying to make it super, snappy, editing really nice. And, I feel like I can do snappy editing, it's not that difficult. But at the same time, when it comes to the Owl House, I feel like I've just completely drained myself, right? I feel like I'm completely out of ideas to make new jokes or anything, which is kind of sad because this is supposed to be the last main Owl House video that I'm gonna make for a while. That's a event sort of thing. I don't know, a special event that usually gets lots of videos, sort of. And I guess how I should put this is now that the Owl House is over, obviously there's a lot less that I feel like I can do. During this video, I know that I think even when I just started it, my creative juices, or I guess all my energy to create Owl House creative content has been completely sapped. And I'm pretty sure that's actually because of the Hunger Games video, the Hunger Games 2 for the Owl House that I made on my second channel. That video, I put everything I had into that. I put everything I had, used up all my jokes, most of my creativity that I had, I used up everything there, right? And I even had to redo the video too, so that sucked. After the whole AI voices thing, I had to cut that out and remake most of the video. So that was a bit unfortunate because I had a whole completely different plot line for it. I mean, it was kind of similar, but I had to get rid of so much of it, which was a bit unfortunate. I think I was able to salvage a couple of the bits that were AI voice, but I had to scrap most of it. Anyway, I knew that when I was making that video that I was pouring everything I had into it, right? That I feel for my Owl House videos is gonna be the best project that I can make. And I feel since I put all my eggs in one basket in that video, I put my everything, that was the final boss, right? And now I'm basically fighting a secret boss. And I just don't think I have it in me, right? I don't think I can make it as nearly as good as the Hunger Games 2, because I just used up pretty much everything that I had, right? There's only so many jokes, so many things that you can make before something gets kind of stale. So that's kind of where I'm at with this Kahoot video. It's because I used up everything I had in that Hunger Games video, all my jokes, everything I had. And to try and still keep milking more jokes or funny moments, it's just kind of just sapped everything that I have, which is again why I talked about in the last podcast, where I'm gonna be moving on to the next era of Zeez G2, and I can pretty much say it's probably gonna be miraculous. Maybe. I think it's a very high chance it's gonna be miraculous Ladybug. I won't talk about this for too long. I just wanted to kind of put my thoughts out there with the creation of Zeez PUBG 2 content, since that is like the money-making channel for sure. This channel is probably gonna get monetized, I want to say, like, in 3 months, you know? I'm gonna guess 3 months. If I can consistently make more content on here, which, you know, this is, for those that don't know, this channel is like my anti-algorithm channel. This is the channel where I just upload stuff that I know, like, the algorithm doesn't care about, right? Like, all my other channels, I really think about, like, the algorithm. Not so much for the gaming channel, actually. So I guess the gaming channel and this one are especially, I guess, like, not algorithm favored, I guess I could say. But going, like, just talking about gaming, you know, I consider myself, weirdly enough, a gaming YouTuber over being like a cartoon, like, analysis channel. Because, like, I've only been, like, talking about cartoons for, you know, around a year and a half now. And I've been doing gaming for, like, almost 5 years, which is pretty crazy to think about now. But I still consider myself to be like a gaming YouTuber. And I kind of want to throw my hat into the ring and, like, make some more gaming content. I think the issue, though, is I'm kind of caught in what type of gaming content that I want to make. Because there are different, like, styled videos, right? I could do, like, sort of PBG, Peanut Butter Gamer styled reviews that are, like, kind of like half critique but mostly comedic. I could do video essays, or I could do what is like pretty much the evolved version of Let's Plays that aren't streaming, of course. But I could do just simple videos of where I, like, sit down and play a game for, like, 3 to 4 hours, and then I condense it all into, like, a 10-minute video and only, like, have, like, the best parts with, like, snappy editing and whatnot. Like, I see a lot of people do that, right? A good example is like Party Crashers. I've been watching this YouTube channel called Party Crashers recently, and, you know, they've been blowing up, actually. They the whole, like, group of 4, like, they're making, like, some really good content. You know, they're on the grind, that's for sure. And you know, one good example is they played like Super Mario 3D World, right? And for me, I've been playing that on stream, like, here and there. And but the difference between my content of 3D World is, like, it's all streamed, so, like, the whole thing is there. And if I wasn't to do that, I would probably just do, like, a Let's Play where I feature, like, you know, pretty much the whole game. But for them, you know, they've condensed down the entire game into, like, an hour and, like, 20 minutes or something. I forget how long their, like, ultimate compilation video of, like, the whole game. But, you know, they don't care about, like, showing off every little thing the game has to offer. All they care about is, like, the best bits. It's like a highlight reel, basically. Or, you know, like, for example, maybe it takes you, an average player, like, 30 to 40 minutes to beat World 1 in Mario. I don't know. I'm just throwing out a random number. But, you know, they'll play that 30, 40 minutes, and they'll condense it down to, like, 5 minutes. Maybe. You know, maybe a little bit longer. Maybe, like, 8 minutes. But it's like, you know, maybe an entire world that takes 30 to 40 minutes, they condense that down to, like, 8 minutes. So they get that, like, ad revenue or whatever. So it's like, you know, every world takes, like, 8 minutes. So if there's, like, 8 worlds, that's 64 minutes. That's, like, an hour. So you basically play the whole freaking game in 60 minutes. And, you know, people love watching that stuff. I think that I mentioned this, like, when I was talking about Let's Plays near the beginning of this podcast series, I think, like, in episode 1. But something that I have always had, like, a big passion towards is showing, like, every single thing the game has to offer when I do content on a game, right? And unfortunately, that's not the kind of stuff that gets views anymore. Like, that's the kind of stuff that got views all the time. You know, back in the day, it was like 100% completion Let's Play, let's go! And, like, every single episode would get, like, you know, 30K views or whatever, depending on, like, what the YouTuber was. But, you know, a good amount of those, like, videos, those Let's Play series, would get, like, you know, good amounts of views. And now, like, Let's Plays are pretty much completely dead. It's obviously, like, gone on to streaming. But I've been, like, really thinking about, like, how I want to take the direction of, like, gaming content on my channels. Because the main channel is, like, dead, right? It's funny because I always have, like, all these other channels that I upload on. And the main channel, Zeez PUBG, or, like, Zeez PUBG 1, you could consider it, that doesn't really get a lot of attention. And, you know, I don't really know what to do with that channel because I've had, like, so many different ideas for, like, my main channel. Because, like, what I wanted my main channel to be was to kind of have, like, a storyline, you know, build up throughout a lot of the videos that I would produce. And, you know, I still have a story in mind, but I don't think that's gonna work on YouTube, sadly. And it really sucks because, like, that's the kind of stuff, like, when I would watch some other YouTubers, that's the kind of stuff I would pop off over. But, you know, so many people I've seen, like, just on like social media or whatever, complain about when a YouTuber adds in their like own lore into a video, which is like a fair criticism. You know, it's a fair criticism. Like, for example, if I'm watching a video essay about why, I don't know, Ed and Eddie is a masterpiece, right? I'm not gonna care if like the reviewer's OC comes in 40 minutes into the video and is like, actually, we have to go on an adventure to do this, and it's gonna take up 10 minutes of screen time, and we're not gonna be acknowledging Ed and Eddie that much for like, 10 minutes or whatever, because we have to do this thing. And it's like, nobody's gonna care about that, right? They're all just gonna like either close the video, skip ahead, they're just not gonna care, right? But like, that's the stuff that I eat up, right? And that's what sucks, is because nobody cares about that kind of stuff. And like, that's the kind of sad thing I think about being a YouTuber, is like when your passions don't align with what people want to see. Because Mr. Beast, gotta put in Mr. Beast. He makes a really good point when I think he like, there's this like, Mr. Beast advice is just scattered throughout YouTube. There's so much of it. But one thing that I always focus on, that he always says, like, there's plenty of things, to focus on, but one thing that like has been kind of ringing true recently is replace the word algorithm with the word audience, where it's like, oh, the algorithm doesn't like this. No, the audience doesn't like that. And obviously, there is still the algorithm to worry about, but at the same time, if the algorithm doesn't like something, the algorithm reflects the audience. That's the whole point of why the algorithm exists, right? So that's kind of what you have to do. It's like, if my audience doesn't like it, it's not the algorithm not pushing it to them. It's because the few people who watched it clicked off so early or whatever, Like, I'm sure there's a good amount of people on this podcast. Like, it's going to have, let's say in 2 weeks, it'll have like 120 views, right? And I guarantee you, only like 30% of people have already made it this far. For those who don't really know YouTube analytics, most people click off within the first like 30 seconds. I think by 30 seconds, you usually have like 50% of people still remaining. And then by 1 minute, you have like 30%. And then by like a couple minutes in, you have like 25%. It varies depending on the video. Obviously, for my gaming videos, it's awful. Like my Let's Play series, it's like 100% at 0. Then at 30 seconds, it's like 20%, and then like I think it's like 8% for like the rest of the video. So clearly, like, nobody wants to watch Let's Plays, which is really sad, because that's the content that I like grew up loving and wanted to make, but it just doesn't really work on YouTube anymore. And I've been kind of struggling with like the whole Let's Play format, because I still love showing off like everything a game has to offer. I still want to do like blind playthroughs of games, and some games that I just feel like I can make better quality when they're not like being streamed, right? Because, for example, something that I'm really bad at with streaming is like audio balance. I don't really know how to balance audio that well for streams. Like, I have a good idea of where it is, but especially when there's like dialogue in games, it makes me like really confused on how to balance the audio, because sometimes I'll want to turn up the audio really, really high for the game, so that people can hear what the characters are saying. If they have like voice acted dialogue, I want the people to hear that. And I don't want it to also overshadow my own voice. So then, like, you'll have like a cutscene that plays, and the characters are like kind of soft-spoken, so I have to turn up the audio. But guess what? The sound effects from the game come in, and they're super, super loud, so I have to turn the audio back down. And like having to turn the audio up and down all the time gets like really distracts me from the game. And I don't really want to have to do that all the time. So it gets kind of annoying when I have to do that for like streams. Like, for example, I was doing that with Sonic Frontiers, where like every time there's a cutscene, I would up the gain of the volume so that everybody could hear the characters talking. But then I had to like lower it back down so our voices don't get covered up by the game audio. And then, when there's like a super intense moment happening in a game, I don't want to have to worry about the audio balance. I want to like focus 100% on the game. And when it's like, when you're doing streaming, you can't really always do that, at least for me. There are ways, to my knowledge, where you can make the game lower its audio whenever you talk, and then like after you stop talking, like raise up the audio as well. I forget exactly how it works, but I swear every time I've done that, it always works against me, right? It'll make my voice like drain out. It just sound like really, really bad. It'll just sound really, really bad. I've tried it, and I can't really figure it out. I still think I'm relatively new to streaming. I don't know like most streaming techniques. I feel like I need like a like an audio mix or whatever, because all I have is like my USB mic. Like it's just my microphone plugged in the USB and that's it. And like most people have like an audio mixer, and I did have one for a while, but it broke, and I actually never knew how to use it that well. But you know, eventually I would like to get to a point where I can like, you know, have a stream where I can just like not have to worry about that kind of stuff, right? When I do like a blind playthrough or whatever. For example, a couple games that I've wanted to play are the sequel to the Somnium Files game. I forget what it's called off the top of my head, but I've wanted to play that. And I've also wanted to play something Raincode. It's the creator of Danganronpa. He made like a game called like Raincode or something. I think there's like more to the title, but it looks like a fun game. You know, it's like an investigation sort of game. And it has like the same art style as like Danganronpa. So it's like, you know, it's this game that I want to check out. But I don't really think I can do that because I'd want to let's play it. And at the same time, whenever I stream a game, the quality drop is awful. Like when I like playing a game, I like preserving the quality, right? So it's like every time I think about doing a stream where I play a game, I feel like, oh, I have to sacrifice the quality of the video. I have to sacrifice the quality of the audio. And if I make any like mistakes, or I have like voice act dialogue from a game, or if I make any mistakes where it's like I cough or whatever, I can't edit that out, right? Because sometimes I'll like cough during a recording, or I'll sneeze or whatever, and a lot of time I just cut that out, right? Or I cut out a lot of the boring moments. But when it's on stream, you know, you can't edit that out. So, you know, the trade-off, there's like lots of pros and cons to it, where it's like if I can't do a recording, then I don't have to edit the video, which is nice. Like when I do a stream, I don't have to edit the video. That's one of the greatest parts. I don't have to edit. It eats up or I guess I say it doesn't eat up any time to not have to edit the video. And that's probably like the biggest thing. And also audience interaction, you know, being able to interact with my audience while I'm playing the game. That's pretty cool. So like if people want a backseat game, they have to tell me like right then. They don't have to just say it in my comments, because that's like probably what I'm gonna say like 30% of my comments are when I play a game. It's just people backseat gaming telling me you shouldn't do that, you should do this instead. And to be honest, I feel like the majority of those comments are just pretty annoying. Where it's just like, oh, okay, thanks for telling me what I was doing wrong. You know, there's you know 99% of the rest of the video I did just fine, but you wanted to point out that 1% of the video where I made that one mistake. Thanks, guys. I don't know. I can just say, if you watch any Let's Players, you know, any other channels, just drop them a nice comment, because they put in a lot of time to do what they do. And, you know, any comment that they would get, it's just like positive, is really, really nice, I feel. Especially since like most Let's Players don't really get that much attention. You know, there's a few that still stand out. But, you know, for the majority of us, we don't really, you know, get that much stuff. Anyway, but when it comes to like that's like the streams, I said the pros are I don't have to edit the video. I can just kind of do it live. I can interact with the audience at the same time. It's great, but I sacrifice visual quality, audio quality, and being able to like edit out different things. You know, like not having editing till I kind of spruce it up. I can't cut out any of the really, really boring moments or whatever. Let's say I have to grind, right? When I was doing my like White 2 Nuzlocke playthrough, I had to grind, for example. And like, you know, I'd be grinding for like an hour. Nobody wants to watch me grind for an hour. I have to grind on freaking audio notes for an hour to even stand a chance. So, you know, I would cut that out if it was like a Let's Play, but obviously I can't do that. Or if I wouldn't cut it out, I'd just like really condense it. You know, some people do like grinding montages. That's what I would do when I did my Pokemon Platinum Nuzlocke series that I never finished. I never lost, but you know, I took a dent to my team, and then I just kind of stopped trying because like, I don't know, I think I just moved on to like something else or whatever. And it's kind of sad because I actually put a lot of effort into that playthrough, and it didn't actually get that much attention. But I actually thought it was good. You know, there are some really good moments in that Nuzlocke, so I definitely like actually rewatch those videos sometime, and I kind of want to do more series like it on the Pokemon channel. I've been dying to like work on the Pokemon channel, but you know, I actually haven't had like that much content coming out on any of my channels recently, just because I've just been kind of trying to figure out what I really like want to pursue, right? Because I have to pursue Zeez G2 for monetary reasons, but I want to pursue more like gaming type content for like passion and creative reasons, right? And I kind of feel like I'm caught in the middle with like having like too many channels on. You know, every person tells me you have too many channels, and I totally agree. I definitely do. And I feel like eventually there's gonna be like a huge like moment where I realize like, yeah, I'm gonna focus on like a few of these channels. I definitely think like Zeez G2 is there to stay. I think that like more than any other channel, that's like the one that's not going anywhere. Like that's gonna just always be like a way to review media, whether it be like cartoons, anime, whatever. That's what Zeez G2 is gonna be. I think that has like its identity pretty much set in stone. I think the Fire Emblem channel has its identity set in stone. Like I don't think either of those two are gonna go anywhere because like I'm super passionate about Fire Emblem, and even if Fire Emblem isn't like a channel that's going to be super active all the time, there are still a lot of videos I want to make on that channel. But I feel like any other channel is kind of up for grabs to like transform or, you know, eventually go away, right? Like the gaming channel, eventually that might just become a VOD channel where I just like upload stream VODs or whatever, and I might, I was thinking like maybe I could do my main channel, right? I could have gaming videos and then I could have like live streams on the main channel, and then I would unlist said live streams on the main channel, and then I would upload the VOD to the gaming channel, which would be renamed to like Zeez VOG, like gaming VODs. I don't know, just for example. And that would be it. You know, if people wanted to watch the streams in HD, that's what they would get. They wouldn't get the chat replay, which is the bad thing unless I have it like live on screen. So again, there's just like pros and cons to everything, man. There really is. And I don't think you can have like an HD version of a stream that you can post, or else YouTube will count it as duplicate content, which is a little unfortunate. But you know, it's just like that thing of I always want to preserve the HD quality of said videos. So that's where I'm kind of struggling with the gaming content. And yeah, I think really just thinking about it, the only two channels I can really think of that are like secured are Fire Emblem and Zeez G2. Like I feel like Zeez G, that channel might become Zeez G parentheses old, and I might just make a completely brand new channel for Zeez G, because that channel like was my old third channel. I know this is like insanely confusing. Nobody can follow along with this. That was my old third channel, and I kind of made it my new main channel, but it's probably going to become an old channel because a lot of the content on there is kind of like Zeez G3 right now, where I just kind of uploaded whatever. Like if you scroll through it, you'll see vlogs, you'll see gaming content, you'll just see like a couple other like random videos in there, and it feels a lot more like what I want this channel to be, right? Which is a bit weird. I think the biggest thing though is that I've made some RPG Maker Fez videos over there, which are gaming videos, but they're highly edited gaming videos. You know, they have like, you know, quite a few jokes in there, and you know, the RPG Maker Fez community really likes those videos, and I've wanted to make more of them, but I don't really know where I want to post them. That's actually been like the main thing that's stopping me from making those videos, is not having the time to do it. Obviously, like the servers for the game shut down, but you know, there's ways to still get onto those servers, games or whatever. But it's I don't know where to upload them, right? Because I could upload them on the gaming channel, which is what you would think I'd want to upload it on. But the gaming channel is dead in the algorithm, right? I know that channel's dead. Like that channel in the algorithm, it's trash. There's no saving it, right? Because I've uploaded like thousands of videos on there, and I know that channel's dead. So like, I don't want to upload like a highly edited video to that channel because I know it's dead. Like no video will ever perform well there because the algorithm has no idea what to do with that channel. It's just all variety gaming, and variety gaming kind of sucks on YouTube unless you're like a person that has you know, is already like really good at making content on one game. For example, you know, Smash creators, they'll like pretty much play 80% Smash, 20% variety, right? And it's like, you know, sometimes people might check out their variety streams, or like videos, but for the most part, they don't really, right? Because there's like audience crossover with like Smash and other Nintendo games. I think I've seen some YouTubers try doing like Pokemon. I think Smash and Pokemon is definitely a pretty decent duo, but you know, if I try to do like Smash and Fire Emblem, like that would be really bad. It depends on the game you're playing, right? And that's another thing when it comes to like gaming content on YouTube. I feel like a lot of the games that I play don't exactly get views. There's another thing. It's kind of sad because like, I don't mean to be rude to Minecraft YouTubers, but you guys are so lucky that your game is popular. That's something to say. But like, imagine if Minecraft wasn't popular, right? And like all those YouTubers that love Minecraft, they'd be making all these videos, but they'd get like, you know, 1% of the views that they get. It's because they're passionate about Minecraft, right? They love Minecraft. And I'm not saying that Minecraft's a bad game. It's a good game. I like it. I don't love it, but I like it. I'll play it here and there. But the whole thing is like, man, what if it was just not popular, right? than like all their views. You know, I don't even know any like big Minecraft streamers. I don't watch like Minecraft streamers or Minecraft YouTubers, but like, you know, if Minecraft wasn't so big, I mean, would they just, you know, play the biggest game? Are they playing it because the biggest game, or are they playing it because they love Minecraft, right? And like, that's the thing with me, is like, I love like, you know, Smash Bros. I love Fire Emblem. I love Kirby. But nobody wants to watch Kirby. Nobody wants to watch Fire Emblem. Some people do, right? But the audience is so much smaller. Like, let's say Fire Emblem had the biggest audience. Like, it was as big as Minecraft, right? I'd be popping off. You know, my Fire Emblem channel, it has like, what? I think 1,000 subscribers on it. That would have like 10,000 subscribers, you know, for the same effort, right? If I started a Minecraft YouTube channel, I guarantee I could get like 100,000 subscribers in like 6 months. If I dedicate all my time to it, I guarantee it. That's the sad thing. It's like, I pretty much could do that. I feel like I really could. If I just did like, you know, uploaded 3 times a week and like had like 5 streams a week, I guarantee you I'd get 100,000 subscribers. And that's sad to say. Again, it's sad to say, because I could do that exact same effort for any other game and probably just receive less. You know, maybe you could do it like Fortnite or whatever else is popular. Five Nights at Freddy's, that's another good one. Like all those like indie horror type games. But like, you know, if I want to play that game I was talking about last stream, Identity 5, Identity 5 has, you know, a decent player base, right? But, you know, it's not that popular. And I've been actually having a really good time with that game so far. And I would love to make more content. I'd love to do more streams on it. But, you know, it's just another game that's just, if I were to make content on it, you know, even if it was really, really quality content, it wouldn't get me that many views. Like, I was watching some guys' videos on Identity 5, and they're really good. Like, they are really, really good videos, right? You know, they're informative, they're funny, they're well edited, and, like, they only have, like, 5K views. And it's like, this is the top like, one of the top creators for Identity 5? Like, they're putting more effort into their videos, but just because the player base is less, they get less views, which is so sad. Like, you know, a Minecraft YouTuber could, you know, play Minecraft for an hour, edit it down to like 30 minutes, upload it, and get like, you know, 500 views. I don't know, just like, even if they're a small channel, because it's Minecraft, right? You know, I guarantee if I were to do an Undertale or a Deltarune stream, my average viewers would jump from like 10 to 30, because people freaking love those games, right? Like in my Omori streams, people like the Omori, my average people watching was like 20. And I was like, wow, this is kind of crazy that people are watching. It's just people love those games, you know, especially younger kids that have a lot of free time on their hands. You know, it's like Five Nights at Freddy's is so popular, stuff like that. So, and even like when I stream Minecraft, I get like 18 viewers, even though I'm not doing anything. I'm just running around mining trees, and it's like, why are 18 viewers watching me? What the heck is this? And then I go and play Zelda Phantom Hourglass, and my viewers are like 4. It's like 4 people want to watch Phantom Hourglass. It's sad. It's really depressing when you, as a person, are passionate about things that don't get views on YouTube. And I think that's one of the biggest things that, you know, that I feel conflicted in when I watch all this, like, Mr. Beast advice channels, where it's like, yeah, you know, you should be doing this, you should be doing this. It's like, yeah, I totally agree. But at the same time, some of the things that I make content on, especially when it comes to, like, gaming or very specific niche things, is, it doesn't always work. Even though, like, Mr. Beast is probably right? It doesn't feel like it always works at the same time. Like, if I was really passionate about, what's a really, really niche game, right? Like, what's a game that I've played that, like, nobody cares about? I'm trying to think off the top of my head of, like, a game that, like, nobody cares about, but I really like. I don't know. Here's a good one. Here's a good one, actually. It's not a game, but it's an anime/book series called Deltora Quest. I love Deltora Quest, dude. I think Deltora Quest is amazing. I'm sure most people have never really heard of it, right? But let's say I made a bunch of videos on Deltora Quest, right? You know, like video essays. Let's say I played the Japanese, like the modded English translation Japanese game. I don't think it's actually been modded to English. I don't think there's anyone who's a big enough fan to translate the whole game. But let's say that exists. Let's say I play that game. You know, I do all this content, and it's all super well edited. You know, even it just might not get any views because nobody cares about Deltora Quest. Like, nobody's heard about it. I guess only been me. So it's just kind of sad when, you know, views reflect the popularity of something that already exists, sort of. And that's my biggest conflict, I feel like, or one of my biggest conflicts when it comes to YouTube, is like just the things that I am passionate about don't get views. It just makes me sad when I know that, like, some of the things that I want to work really hard on don't really have a good return investment. which I kind of talked about this earlier with the art contest for Zeez of D2, but you know, the amount of hours that went into that project was absolutely insane, and you know, the return investment was horrible, absolutely horrible. That video I think has like 13k views and it's 6 hours, and like the audience retention rate for a 6-hour video. I just want to think of a number in your head. Think of a number in your head. How long do you think the for a 6-hour video, you know, with Owl House, a bunch of art, over 1,000 entries of art, both animations and regular entries. Just think, what was the average viewer retention on that video? A 6-hour video, what do you think? If you have a number in your head, I'm going to say the number now. 4 minutes. 4 minutes. For a 6-hour video, the average person watched 4 minutes. And that's really depressing, right? That's insanely depressing. For the amount of work and time that went into that video, I only earned like $80 from that video. So imagine you're working your full-time job for a whole month and you expect to get like, you know, more monetary value, whatever. You know, that's how much is that's 100, let's say 160 hours. If it's 40 hours per week, you know, a whole month, 160 hours. Let's say you work 160 hours and you expect to get however much. Let's say you expect to get like, you know, $1,400. Like, let's say that's like around minimum wage. I'm gonna guess. I don't know. Let's just say you're gonna get $1,400. No, you get $80. That's it. What's so sad is that without taxes, at my old job, I could make $80 in a day. And you know, working all that time on a freaking massive 6-hour video, $80. That's all I get. And, you know, you might be saying like, oh, $80 isn't that bad, but you know, for the amount of work that went into that return investment, terrible, absolutely terrible. And don't get me wrong, there are other return investments, right? I was happy that some artists were happy to be featured in the video, but I kind of realized, which I probably should have realized earlier, so a lot of people are just entering to be in a YouTube video, and you know, I think like now that I am the creator, I kind of understand the perspective of how different it really is, right? For example, when I was a viewer to like creators, whenever they would like read my messages in a chat, which I didn't really use comments. I think I don't know, the idea of somebody reading out my comment during a stream was awesome. The idea of even participating, even to be in a video, was awesome, right? You know, 13k views, that's awesome, dude. Like, so many people have watched this video and I'm in it. Isn't that awesome? Like, that's what you might be saying as like one of the artists. Like, that's awesome, but behind the scenes, 13k people, that's a lot of views, right? But think about the watch time. Think about how many people actually saw your art, especially if you were near like the end, or even if people skip to the end to see the winners. Imagine like if you're like somewhere near like the end middle, right? That's probably like where the worst audience retention is, where like maybe 3% of the audience is still watching, if that, maybe probably like 1% actually. But let's say your entry number 749, right? You're gonna skip to find your entry and be like, oh, yo, this is what this YouTuber thought of my art. That's awesome. But guess how many other people saw that? Maybe like 15, 20, maybe like maximum, I'm gonna say 100. No further. 100 people saw that art, and most people just didn't give it a second thought. And I don't mean to be rude, but like that's just how people work, right? You're more excited that you participated in a video and that your art is in a video than caring about everybody else's art. Like, so many people in this Discord server, after I uploaded the 6-hour video, everybody was asking for it, right? Everybody wanted to see the video. I got comments on top of comments on top of comments on top of comments, hundreds that were asking, where's the art contest, right? And, you know, that just put a lot of, I should say pressure? I don't know if I say pressure, but, you know, it made me like be like, yo, I need to get this freaking done. So these people are demanding it. I got to get it out there. And they didn't care about the art contest video. All they cared about was the 20 seconds where I talked about their art piece, right? And for the people that I didn't include, because I had to cut a good amount of entries for various different reasons. I won't go into them here. But, you know, I got a good amount of comments from artists that were like, where's my entry, right? Where's mine? Why wasn't mine included? I worked hard on my entry. Where is it? And obviously, everybody worked hard on their entry, but they had to reject some due to them not following the rules or just other various things. And, it's just kind of disheartening when, you get like lots of positive comments that are just people, being like, oh, this was my art piece. Thanks for letting me enter. And then like so many other pieces that are just like, where's mine? Where's mine? Where's mine? And I got a lot of negative comments on the video where it's just like people just were upset. It's like, okay, I get that, but there's 6 hours of art here. You could enjoy that too. I mean, you wanted to see the art contest, right? No, they didn't. They don't want to see the art contest. They want to see what I said about their art piece and then just click out the video. That's all they wanted. And that's kind of like the truth of it, right? It's a sad reality to those art contest videos, which is why I don't think I'm ever gonna do one again. I know that sounds awful, but I think I've just after thinking about it and just considering the amount of work it took and the return investment, it's just not worth it. It is just not worth it. And I might do a video contest. I think video contests are far better because each one is far more unique. But it was just this last art contest. It was just very unfortunate for everything involved. And a lot of the artists, they don't even think about this, right? All they do is they see their entry and they're happy about what I said, and that's it. They go about their day. And it's like, that's awesome, right? Maybe I made their day. That's cool. But at the same time, behind the scenes is all they did was look at their entry and then leave because they didn't want the art contest. They wanted to see what I said about their art. That's it. So that's kind of depressing, right? That's kind of depressing, but it's the truth. The analytics reflect it. The comments reflect it. It's simply the truth. And you could pose at hell, Zeez, you shouldn't be doing it for the money. You're doing it for the community and whatnot. But even then, I don't even know if it was for the community because nobody watched the video. Maybe it's just because it was a showcase of all this art, but every single person, maybe you could say saying a nice thing about each person's art, every person who saw that would probably be a little happier about what I said about their art. But at the same time, is that really worth a month amount of work or whatever? It's just, it's tough. There's so many different things that go into it. And at the end of the day, that video is obviously just bad for the algorithm. I know it's an awful video for the algorithm, and yet I still made it, right? Because I said I would make it, and I would. And, people are still asking for more art contests. And the sad truth about an art contest is it's not really a contest. It is a 20-second clip. It's a Where's Waldo of Where's Your Art. Find the clip where I talk about it and then click off the video. That's what it is. It is not an art contest. It's a Where's Waldo, where's my piece of art. I found it, let me click off now. And that's the sad truth about it. It's sad to say. Again, when it comes to the video contests, those are far better for viewers because it's I would describe it as people just watching a TikTok compilation where it's you get a different video every single time. And then I'm just providing commentary after each entry. And a lot of my commentary can be a lot more unique with more unique entries, right? In their most recent art contest, so many of the entries were so similar. The Titan Loose entries, 300 of them, dude. It's I had to commentate on 300 Titan Looses. It's trying to compliment a circle 300 times. This one's round. This one is round. This one is round. There's not much else to say about a circle. And there's not too much things you can say about Titan Loose before you start running out of things to say. But with video contests, they're a lot more unique. Everybody has a different idea going in. And that makes it a lot more fresh, a lot more engaging to watch. Whereas just art pieces of redraws or whatever. And as many as a lot of those art pieces are good and as much time people spent on them, the video contests are just more engaging. And the return investment is far higher. So I think the Owl House 1000 Artists versus Owl House, or whatever I even called the video, I don't even remember at this point. I think going forward, that's the final art contest. That's it. Probably for good, honestly. I hate to say it, but that's probably it. Because if my channel continues to grow and I host another one of these contests, it's just going to be more and more work. So I hate to say it, but that's probably it. I'm probably going to still get more comments about when's the next art contest video on Zeez G2, but really, that's probably the end. And I kind of, it's kind of sad to say that, because I've done like, what, 4 art contest videos? I don't even know. I think there's like 7 contests altogether. I really can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I think now with the closing of the Owl House Amphibia era, that's probably the end of the art contest too. You know, when it comes to Miraculous Ladybug, I feel like a lot of the fandom is pretty interesting from what I've been seeing. I've been kind of looking into it a little bit recently. So I feel like there could be some really interesting content if I ever do like a video contest entry, especially if I have it like, you know, be themed around comedy instead of like, you know, edgy whateverness, because comedy is the easiest thing. Comedy is probably the most engaging thing. And speaking of comedy, that's another thing where I'm kind of balancing between is like, what direction or presentation do I want to give with my videos going forward? Because I want to talk about certain videos, but a lot of the video ideas I have in my head are very video essay based entries, and a lot of video essays aren't really that comedic. They're more of like a summary, breakdown, commentary, analytical type things, right? And I've never really done a video essay, so I don't really know how to write or structure one. And I'm writing one now as like a experiment. I think I mentioned this. I'm doing one on the Miraculous Ladybug movie, and I haven't put that much work into it because I'm trying to finish the Owl House Kahoot video. And, you know, whenever I have a Zeez G2 video, I feel like I can't really work on Zeez G2 videos more than one at a time. Because it just feels like if I'm working on the Miraculous Ladybug script, then I should be working on the Owl House Kahoot video. But then when I try to go to the Owl House Kahoot video, I feel like I can't do anything there. So I just end up in a stalemate, and I just end up playing Identity 5 to, like, relax my brain, just be like, oh, I'll try something else out later. And that's kind of like the cycle that has been going on through. Is just like, I don't know how to do this one thing, so I move to this, but I need to do that thing before I do this thing, so I just move on to just doing this thing because it's easier. And, you know, that's kind of like the cycle that I'm kind of been in, what I'm talking about, like the sort of funk or whatever that I've just kind of been in recently. And it's been kind of sad, right? And I just keep thinking, like, man, it'd be so much easier if I could just record Let's Plays. Because that's what I did so long on YouTube. I did it for like 2.5 years, or however long it was. And it was, you know, in retrospect, kind of a waste, because I put all that time into those videos that'll never really get views. But I always like to think, you know, what if I were to, let's say, you know, hypothetically, let's say I built up a channel and I got 1 million subscribers, but I always had that old gaming channel linked, right? And if anybody ever asked me to play a game, I could be like, go check out that gaming channel. It's probably there. You know, for a good amount of series, it is probably there, because there's a lot of Let's Plays on that channel. There's over 1,000 videos on that channel. And I almost wonder, like, would anybody go and watch it? Like, that was kind of my philosophy for so long when I was doing the gaming channel. I was like, oh yeah, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build up all of these gaming videos as like a huge backlog. So if anybody ever is like, where's some more content? Here's some more content. I can always point them in the direction of the gaming channel and be like, there's your content. Isn't that cool? And now the more I think about it, and especially the more content and the more creators always coming onto YouTube, because YouTube is constantly growing, right? So the space of like my content is constantly shrinking, and obviously unless I'm creating more. So I feel like, you know, with YouTube and the oversaturation of gaming content, nobody is going to want to watch those gaming videos anymore, which is kind of like, I've grown to like realize that, which is sad. At the same time, because like obviously like the most like true fans that really love like all my content, you know, the 0.1%, you know, they'll watch the gaming videos, maybe all of them, maybe all the way through. That's a 0.0001% of the audience though. And you know, of 1 million, you know, maybe my, you know, back, because I think on the gaming channel, if I don't upload anything, I think I get around 100 views a day, maybe 100, maybe 200, if the algorithm just kind of like boosts some for no reason. But you know, about 100 views a day on a gaming channel with 3,000 subscribers and over 1,000 videos. Like, that's kind of crazy. And most of them are on like the most recent videos too, right? I'd say like 50% of those are on like the most recent videos or streams. So, you know, 50% of the backlog, that's like 50 views, you know. For like 2.5 years of work, how much do I get? 50 views. That's it. So that's, you know, it's reflected in the analytics, right? Where that 2.5 years of my life is just kind of a waste. Kind of sad, but, you know, it is what it is. And, you know, I almost just think, like, what if I created a different type of content, right, that had a much better backlog? Like, right now, Zeez G2 backlog is decent, right? You know, there's a good amount of Owl House and Amphibia content on there. So any Alice Amphibia fans ever stumble across those videos, you know, that's going to get me some good backlog views. Like, I think my backlog views on ZZOG2 are probably like, I think like every day, I think I get like around 6,000 to 8,000 views, somewhere between there, which is pretty good. You know, that's pretty good. All things considered, like I haven't uploaded on that channel in like almost 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't know how long it's been since the art contest, dude. But you know, like considering like not uploading anything, like that's not bad. Obviously, like those views are constantly decreasing every single day that I don't upload a video. And sometimes when I do upload a video, it like decreases a lot the next day, which is weird. And then it takes a few days for it to recover. I think it's just a weird algorithm thing. But you know, the backlog on that is so much better. And if I were to leave that channel completely alone, right? You know, if let's say I just completely abandoned ZZOG2, you know, I would still get views on like those really, really popular videos, like the Owl House Kahoot, the Owl House Hunger Games, whatever. Like those videos will always be getting views, right? Even if not a lot, they'll always get views because they're like, you know, they have 2 million views on the channel or whatever. Like, you know, for example, the Hunger Games or Kahoot, whatever the most popular videos on that channel, it has like 2 million views. I think there's 2 videos that have 2 million views on that channel. So those videos are always going to get views, right? Simply because the fact that they have 2 million views. So YouTube's always going to be like promoting it because, you know, videos with more views get more views. It's like the rich get richer kind of thing, right? So I could leave that channel alone and like those videos would always get more views. Slowly, yes, slowly over time, yes. But they're always going to get views, regardless of what direction I take that channel into, right? Like if I do it into anime, those videos are always still going to get views because they're popular, right? They're going to get less over time, but again, they're always going to get views. Unlike the gaming channel videos, right? And I feel like, you know, it just comes to that quantity over quality sort of thing where I have to work on more quality type videos over quantity type videos, which is just, again, kind of goes against like what I wanted, I guess like where I started doing YouTube, like doing the Let's Plays and whatnot, doing the daily uploads versus the longer big videos. And, you know, I think like if I were to work, you know, if I were to like be perfect every day, right, I would always be able to edit, always be able to come up with jokes, always be able to be perfect on recording and have like all my time managed perfectly. Like I know I could probably handle all these channels, right? It's just like, you know, you're not going to be at 100% every single day. Like I feel like I've been working at like 10% each day, right? Where like I open up my Adobe Premiere Pro and I sit there for like 20 minutes trying to think of a joke, trying to think of the right music to use in this one specific part, trying to think of like how to edit this, how to edit that. And I just kind of just keep drawing blanks. And I almost wonder, like, I know I need a fresh pace, but I almost feel like when it comes to like, you know, like the Alice content, but I'm kind of worried about if I were to like start making content on Miraculous, like, am I even gonna be able to come up with ideas? Am I even gonna be able to make good videos on it? And it makes me wonder, like, should I just maybe try and go back to doing gaming content, but this time do that sort of party crashes thing, like I said earlier, where I just, you know, play a lot of the game and condense it down into a very small period and only include the highlights, right? But even then, you know, I actually thought about doing this with my Tears of the Kingdom series, which was a pretty like busy time when that game came out. But, you know, I played that game, I started Let's Play of it. I started out really, really well, where I was uploading 2 Tears of the Kingdom videos every single day. And, you know, that took around like 7 hours, right? 7 to 8 hours to get 2 of those videos out per day. Then I reduced it to 1 per day. And then I just kind of stopped. Because as much as I do love the game, it takes a lot to play. It's massive. And there are some episodes that I kind of have to do that's like just side content. And it's just kind of sad to like do those where it's like I'm having fun playing it, but then while editing it, I'm dreading it because it's like, I know this isn't going to get views. I know nobody's going to want to watch this. So why am I even here? Why am I editing this? Why am I making the thumbnail? Why am I putting all this time into a video that's not going to get any views, right? And it's just because I'm passionate about it. That's the thing. And it's like so many of these projects that I've just been working on have such awful return on investment. And that's the thing, is I need to find something I'm passionate about, but also has high return investment, right? Because I think I mentioned this in the last podcast as well, is where I'm trying to earn more money to get more opportunities, right? Because I'm not like well off or anything, you know? I need, obviously I need money to like put a roof over my head, but I want like just more money not to like buy nice things. I couldn't care less about having nice things, but I want money for opportunities, right? I want money to buy like better equipment to make videos. I want money to be able to like travel someday. Like I'd love to do a Nintendo World video. I'd love to go to like in Japan they have like this Dragon Quest amusement park or whatever, and I'd love to go there and make a video about it. Or just like any of the other like places throughout the world or whatever that just has like interesting things to do there. Or like what Racecar said in the last video, where he said we could go on a coaster trip together, where we go in like some theme park and I could record a video there, and I'd like that'd be awesome to do. But obviously those cost money, those cost time. And, more and more I've been considering hiring an editor, because I've been a solo act all this time. And I almost wonder, like, should I hire an editor? And, like, I can't really afford an editor, but I almost wonder is, like, could I, like, maybe just try and bite the bullet and see if it checks out? I thought if I were to have an editor, I wouldn't have it on Zeez of D2. Like, that would be mine. I think if I were to have an editor, it would be for my Pokemon channel or this channel. I think that's what I would have it for. This isn't a call out to any editors watching. I don't know if I'm gonna be doing this, but this is just an idea I've had in the back of my mind where it's like, maybe I could experiment with it, right? Because I don't know if I'd be making any videos on the third channel, especially recently. But, let's say I want to like, do a Pokemon Nuzlocke, right? Like, let's say I record a Pokemon Scarlet Nuzlocke. I've been kind of wanting to do that. And let's just say I, record the first 4 hours. And I'm like, all right, here you go, editor. I want you to, put all of this and take this 4 hours of footage, edit it down into like a 10 to 20 minute video and make it really, really funny. And that's it. But like watch some of my other videos so you can kind of know what my style is, right? Like I would need them to like sort of replicate my style, because one of the biggest things I feel like every single YouTuber has is like a style to their videos that they edit. And if you ask any other YouTuber, they're going to be like, oh, I don't want an editor because no editor can replicate my style. Well, most of them can. I feel like most of them definitely can, because I've been watching some of my favorite YouTubers' content, and a lot of the time, if they find like the right editor, you can kind of tell the difference, but like sometimes you just can't, right? Like an editor that I've watched a lot is Little Z. He makes Smash content, pretty popular creator, and I think like the videos edited by him are probably like the objective like best ones, and you can tell when it's edited by him or like by an editor, but at the same time, the videos that he doesn't do still maintain the quality that he does in his other ones. Like obviously, like it'd be like, let's say the videos edited by him are like at 100%. The videos by his editors are like at 85%. So it's like you lose like maybe 15% of that quality, that like special charm that he adds. But you're still getting like 85% of like what his content would normally be at, right? And I feel like that's what I would need, right? Whereas like if I'm at like 100%, I would need the editor to at least match like 80% of my style, right? You can get like 20%, or it's like their personal touch. But, most of it would have to be like what I would like it to be. And that would save me a lot of time. The only issue is like, I don't know how I would like transfer the videos, transfer them back, upload them. I feel like that would take a lot as well. I don't know. I feel like that'd just be a bit of a hassle, but no, I think a lot of people do that anyway. But it would save time, right? It would save time. And it would kind of help me to like commit, right? Because if I'm providing a job for my editor, I would need to keep creating content for them to work on, right? Because if I just like, work on a bunch of content and then I'm like, oh, I'm going to move on to this channel now. I'm going to work hard on this channel. And the editor's going to be like, wait, but I need money. And that's the kind of another reason where it's like, if I do hire an editor, I'll need to commit to whatever I'm like, content I'm doing so that they can always have stuff to edit, right? It's like, because I'd basically be their boss and I need to provide them work all the time. And if I am not the one giving them work, then they'll just be out of a job. And not to say that they would do full-time editing for me or anything, but it's just a thought, right? Because how YouTube works, like how YouTube versus companies works, I guess you could say, is that in a company you have a big pyramid, right? Your CEO's at the top, and you work all the way down to have like your minimum wage workers or whatever. But for YouTube, the chain of command is the opposite, right? You flip the pyramid upside down, where the little mini bit at the top, that's at the bottom. That's where the creator is, right? The creator is like holding up the entire workforce of it. Because let's say, this is going to be a really like outlandish thing, but let's say I hire like 4 editors, right? let's say like I got 1 million subscribers, right? And then I have like a merch line that these people are working on, and I have editors that are doing this, and I have like other channels that are doing this. But let's say I just die, right? Let's just say I got hit by a bus and I die. All those editors are out of their jobs. All that merch, no point in selling it. When a creator disappears or like God forbid gets canceled, all those people connected to them are immediately out of a job. Where a CEO, for example, you can just swap in another one, right? Like obviously it might take you a little bit, you might need to find the right person, but you can't swap out a creator. That's the thing about YouTube, is that's the thing. Like for example, I don't this is like God forbid this happen, but Mr. Beast, go back to Mr. Beast. What if Mr. Beast just gets hit by a bus, right? And he dies. That's a horrible thing to say, but like what would happen to his channel? It wouldn't be Mr. Beast anymore. I think I don't know if he ever mentioned, like, I think he said if he dies or something, or like if something happens to him, one of his friends would take over, but like it would never be the same, right? It would never be that creator, because most of the time a YouTube channel is just by like one main person. You know, maybe you can have like a duo channel, a group channel, whatever, but most people are solo acts that have like people working for them, and that's like kind of the scary thing, is like when you commit yourself to like hiring people or whatever, you still have to also commit yourself to providing for them at the same time. And I think that's like probably the scariest part of why I haven't like committed to hiring an editor or anything, is because, you know, if I'm like the main person providing for them, if they don't have any other job, if they need money, you know, what happens if I don't provide, right? That's the kind of scary thing, I guess. And another thing is like, I just don't want them to make my videos cringy. That's another thing. I usually stay away from putting like mainstream like memes in my videos. I hate like mainstream, I don't know how to describe it, like Vines. I hate like I hate whenever I see like a Vine clip in a video. I just immediately frown. I immediately lose all enjoyment. That's not all of it, but you know, if there's ever like a really, really mainstream, like boring kind of cringy meme or like reference, I would hate that kind of stuff, right? Normally I like coming with my own jokes. You know, sometimes I do. Sometimes I like myself a funny Among Us joke, a funny, like Morbius, whatever, when that was popular, Morbius, like Morbin time. I think that would be funny. But, you know, if we're talking like referencing like, does road work ahead? I sure hope it does. Like, dude, that's so cringe in my opinion. Like, I would not care. And like that's the kind of thing where I feel like if I would watch a video, it's like if somebody references one of those like really, really cringe or like overused meme format things, I'd just be like, you gotta just redo this. I'm sorry, like, you have to redo this bit. Like it's just so bad, and like I would feel so bad, you know, to tell the editor to like, you gotta re-edit that, dude, because it's cringe. And again, it'd just be like that sort of thing is like I'd have to like review every single video too. So I almost wonder, like, at the same time, would me like uploading the files, having to download the files or whatever, like how much extra time would that take? And I have to like review the whole video as well. Like, wouldn't it take like just about as much of the same time for me to just edit the video myself and then upload it, instead of having to upload, contact the editor, tell them this, tell them what I want this, you know, instruct them to do this. They upload it, they send it back, I check it out, I send it back for review. Like that feels like it would just take a lot of time sometimes, and I feel like it'd just be fast to do it myself, which is another reason I haven't hired an editor. But I guess I would have to like find the right person, right? And I feel like starting off it would be really, really slow, but once we get into like a good rhythm, it'd be faster. But I think it's just because I also just like care so much about what I produce and what content I make. Because I've seen another YouTube channel that's kind of in the same sphere of like that little Z that I was talking about earlier, is Poppet1. He's a Smash content creator. He's you know, kind of in a group with like Little Z and a couple other people. But you know, he would. How he said, he's admitted to this, and this is something that, like, you know, obviously it works for him, but I think he has like 2 or 3 editors, and when he's done recording, he sends them the stuff. I think they send it back, he makes the thumbnail, and then they upload the video, but he doesn't watch the video. He records it, he gets it from the editors, I think he skims through it, like, just to make sure there's not like, you know, it just skims through it and then uploads it. He doesn't even watch his own videos. That's the thing, is like creators that don't watch their own videos and just like trust their editors to like produce the stuff. And it's like, I don't know how you could ever do that, man. Like, obviously, you know, to each their own, but like for me at least, like, I don't know how you can not do that at all. You just trust your editors to do a good job. Like, it's not a thing of trust. It's more of just like a thing is like, yeah, it's just what I want to have out there, right? And it's just like, oh man, I don't know how you could ever do that. Just not watch your own videos. Even if they're like, and they're only like, most of these videos are like 15 minutes long-ish on average. It's just crazy to me how you can not watch your own videos. Like, I don't know how you could do that. I guess it does save you time. And you know what content's gonna basically be in it. Because most of these videos, like, they're edited okay. The jokes in there are fine, but I would not call like any of them magnum opuses. I think there's like pretty standard, well-edited videos, not like anything crazy. But there's like some jokes here and there to like help audience attention, but it's not like really well edited. It's not like a masterpiece of a video or anything, because he uploads like decently often, or at least he used to. I think it was like 6 times a day. Or it's not 6 times a day, 6 times a week. 6 out of 7 days or whatever. But anyway, it's just like that's the whole thing when it comes to like hiring an editor or whatnot, because like definitely it would help out with like the time, and it would depend on like what they're editing right at the same time too, because if it were to be like that sort of Pokemon style where I do like a Nuzlocke, send them like 3 hours of footage, they edit all the way down, like that would be a lot of time, right? And I would also get like, I could also just give them notes to be like, make sure to include this part in, this part in, this part in. But I wouldn't even know like what to pay them, like what's a fair amount. Like I edited for some YouTubers in the past, actually just one, but they paid me $50 per video, and after going through like a certain amount of time. And for what I did, I think I was getting a little underpaid, but I didn't really care. I didn't have a job at the time, so I was just like, I'll work on YouTube and edit for this YouTuber. $50 like per video is like, it wasn't terrible, but like I put in like 10 hours of work for like that's $5 an hour without taxes or anything, so that's not great. But he said he couldn't afford anything better. I was like, yeah, that's fine. And he also paid me like shoutouts, which obviously is not a thing you should do. Don't get paid in shoutouts. But I was fine with it. We agreed like $50 is fine. So if it's mutual, I guess it's fine. But you should also know like what you're worth. I was cool with it. But if you're ever gonna like take a job like that, obviously make sure you're getting paid well. Don't settle for like too little. I was just fine with it because I didn't really care. But anyway, I wouldn't even know like what to pay. It would also depend on like what the quality of the video is, right? I'm thinking like, if I do this, you might see this in the future. I don't know. I'm taking like a few weeks to really think about this, because I've never hired an editor before, and I don't know if I could like genuinely afford it. Like I definitely can, but I would have to like cut some other things. I have to cut costs on other things as well. Whatever. But I might like have like I need editors post for my Pokemon channel, and I'd send everybody, like all the editors that I'm like trialing, I'd send them like a trial video. I give them like an hour of footage, be like, edit this down to like 10 to 15 minutes and make it funny and try and replicate my style or whatever. And like that would be it, right? That would be all I give them. And it'd be like a volunteer position, because I couldn't pay everybody who applies, because if there's like 50 people who apply, I can't pay that much money. So it'd probably be like a volunteer thing. It's like, everybody who do this, just make sure this is a volunteer position for this one video. If you get the job, then you'll be paid. But if I don't do that, then then I could just be like, okay, all people who apply, let me just see your portfolio or whatever. I don't know. I'd have to see, right? I'd have to see. I'm not really sure the best way to go about doing it. But it'd probably be like either having like a Google Doc form where people just post their portfolios, or maybe I could just do like both. I could like find, like I can narrow down the portfolios to a certain amount of people depending on how many apply, and send out the stuff to them. So I don't know how I would do it. But it's something I've just been kind of considering in the background, because I feel like it would help me get more content out, and it would be on one of the like side channels, right? Because I want to put more like content out there on like the Pokemon channel and whatnot. And I feel like my true main content, like on Zeez G2 or whatever, that would all still be by me, but I'd still have some good videos coming out on other channels, right? I just feel like it's going to be kind of tough to like commit to that. But anyway, I think I might wrap it up there. I've kind of just been really talking about like the situation of YouTube and here and whatnot. That's really all I've been talking about, honestly. Solo casts tend to be like that, where I just kind of ramble on about stuff. So sorry if you prefer like the other discussions. I personally think the last podcast was probably one of the most interesting that we had, since we had lots of different topics to talk about. But I wanted to keep this one as a solo cast just because it's a little easier for me to kind of go through. It's just simple like that. But anyway. Thank you all so much for watching, everybody. I do appreciate it. As always, I hope you enjoyed this solo cast. Next week, we'll be back at Wednesday. You already know what time. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again so much for watching. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.